Very good morning to you, Thamsanqa, and thank you for coming in. So just how do you go about finding these graduates and matching them with internships and that sort of opportunity?
Thank you, Tembegile, for having us. We appreciate this opportunity. The challenge is not pretty much finding the graduates, but the biggest challenge is to find the host employers, because we've got graduates readily available, but host employers who have the appropriate temperament, the appropriate skills transfer approaches and models are very difficult to find. And that is what we're working to get, so that we can then match the host employers to the graduates that are available.
And how many graduates are you currently dealing with?
In our database, we're sitting at around just over 15,000 of these graduates from universities and TVET colleges. So you have about 11,000 from TVET colleges and 4 from universities.
Do you have specific focus areas in terms of the intake of graduates, or are you across vocations?
It is across different disciplines. You're looking at engineering, you're looking at finance, accounting, you're looking at marketing, sales. So it is across different disciplines indeed.
What then makes it so difficult for you to be able to link each graduate with a company or an employer who would have some sort of opportunity for them?
It's the funding, number one. There's a need for funding to be available. And thanks to companies like your Food Bev SETA, the ETDP SETA, the Fiber Processing and Manufacturing SETA, Construction SETA, Services SETA, who have come about to assist us to fund stipends for these young people, so that companies, when they come aboard, they focus on skills transfer.
We see, especially on social media, a lot of images of graduates who are waiting at traffic lights with signs saying, "This is my name is Thamsanqa, I studied whatever at such and such a university, this is my number, please assist." Are you able to help those sort of people, or do graduates then have to come to you and say, "This is my story, can you link me to an opportunity"?
The South African Council for Graduates actually, as we presented in the Presidential Job Summit in October to President Ramaphosa, we said we cannot be so evasive about graduate employment, because graduates should be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So we saluted those young people who go onto street lights carrying placards to say, "See me, I'm a graduate, I need employment." We want them to come to us, but we've got to be able to deal with this right from an institutional point of view. We're urging all universities and all TVET colleges to submit their databases of graduates and students that are finishing, so that we can then have a planned process, a planned approach to saying these are the number of graduates, so that employers then would know how many young people they would be able to absorb, and then they can plan. If it's not planned, it's not going to be able to work. So we want universities to work with us so that we can have a pipeline and a value chain that will be able to meet the demand.
You also have quite a focus on graduates from TVET colleges, which is very important, given that the messaging from government at the moment is that we must build more artisan skills and that sort of thing. But in terms of the placement or that link with companies, are you finding that there's a different treatment between university graduates and those from TVETs, or are the struggles much the same?
The struggles are pretty much the same, but you have to work much harder for TVET colleges, simply because you're looking at young people, some of them who are just, on an equivalent of grade 12 or matric. So companies like, public companies like Transnet, Department of Public Works, but also you get private companies like your Lafarge, Patco, who are saying, "Sagra, we want to take more of your graduates also from TVET colleges, because we want to build a pipeline." An average artisan in South Africa is around 56. So you got to have people that are readily available, who then be brought into the company and be shown the ropes, how the technical aspects of a company works and functions.
Once taken into the various companies, do you stay with the particular graduate to just monitor their progress and see how they go, or are you basically just focused on getting them a foot in the door and then leaving them to fly?
Definitely we don't leave them at that, because it's important for us to see how the graduates, for example, I came here with Ms. Tembekile Pilusa, who was a graduate, an intern 3 years ago. Today she's a general manager at the South African Council for Graduates. So we stay with them because we want them to also continue to work with us to help us to find more host employers so that we can assist more graduates. So we don't leave them.
You participated in President Cyril Ramaphosa's Job Summit a few months ago. Do you find that events or occasions such as the Job Summit are effective on the ground, or are they still more of a talk shop?
I think they're important in that companies begin to make their commitments, and we follow through on those commitments. You know, we make it a point that companies, those who've made commitments, we follow up, and then we ask them to show us their budgets, how much they have available, and then what number of interns are they able to take. So indeed, they do work, not only from a point of view of following up, but also for networking purposes, so we can grow the pool of host employers that we want to work with. We want as many companies as possible to come and work with us so that we can be able to share the budget that we have from the SETAs and make sure that we take as many graduates, but also not only graduates for employment, but graduates for entrepreneurship, then they can form their own co-ops and be able to run viable institutions.
Just on companies, lastly, those who are listening to this conversation between you and I and would like to link up with you, how do they do that?
Well, they can visit our website, www.cooperativecouncil.co.za, or they can send us an email. If it's graduates, they can send an email at admin@cooperativecouncil.co.za, and for companies, they can send us an email at development@cooperativecouncil.co.za. We are readily available. We know it's the festive season, it's a season for fun, but let us remember January is just around the corner, and we want as many as possible young people who have just graduated this year to come and join the workplace and stop staying at home.
With a sobering message there. Let's leave it on that note. Thank you.